Imagine stepping into the Cobra Kai dojo. Fists flying, kicks snapping, and intensity so thick you can almost feel it through the screen. But here's a twist you never saw coming. If you had to pick the one Cobra Kai star with the most punchable face, who would it be? The cast was asked this exact question, and let's just say the answers were hilarious, unexpected, and maybe a little savage. So buckle up, because this dojo showdown is about to get way more personal. When you think of Cobra Kai, the first thing that comes to mind is usually the action. The fights are intense, the rivalries are heated, and every character looks like they're one step away from throwing down. But behind all that intensity, the cast members actually love to poke fun at each other. And sometimes that means answering silly questions like who has the most punchable face. Now, before you picture an actual brawl, let's be clear, this isn't about real fighting. It's all in good fun, and the cast knows it. Still, the way they answered tells you so much about their personalities, their friendships, and their ability to laugh at themselves. Think about it. Every show has that one character who always seems to rub people the wrong way. Maybe it's the smirk, maybe it's the way they raise an eyebrow, maybe it's just the look they give in the middle of a fight scene. Cobra Kai is full of characters who know how to push buttons. Johnny Lawrence, with his old-school tough guy attitude, has moments where you just want to roll your eyes. Daniel LaRusso, forever the Karate Kid, sometimes comes off a little too righteous. And let's not forget the younger cast teenagers who love to bring the drama. Put all that together, and you've got a lineup of faces just waiting to be roasted. The question, who has the most punchable face, was meant as a joke. But what makes it fun is that the cast didn't hold back. They leaned in, laughed hard, and threw their co-stars under the bus in the friendliest way possible. You can almost picture them on set, pointing fingers, cracking up, and daring each other to say names out loud. It's not about hate, it's about teasing. And in a show that thrives on rivalry, that teasing feels right at home. As fans, this kind of moment is gold. We're so used to seeing the characters in high-stakes fights, where every glare and every smirk matters. But here we get to see the actors as themselves, dropping the serious looks and just being playful. It reminds you that behind every intense dojo stare, there's a real person who can laugh at their own face being called punchable. It's those little glimpses behind the curtain that make us feel closer to the people who bring these characters to life. To make it even better, the cast didn't give boring answers. Each choice came with a story, a reason, or a funny explanation. Sometimes it was about a certain expression, like someone always looking smug in fight scenes. Sometimes it was about how a character behaves, always trying to act tougher than they really are. And sometimes it was pure payback, a playful jab at a co-star who had teased them earlier. That's the beauty of it. It's not about who deserves a punch, but about who makes you laugh when you imagine it. Picture this: a cast member leans back in their chair, crosses their arms, and says with a grin, "Yeah, it's gotta be him." The rest of the room bursts into laughter. The camera cuts to the guilty face, and you can't help but smile. That's the energy of this question. It's not about violence, it's about comedy. And when you've got a cast as close as this one, comedy comes easy. By setting up this playful debate, we're not just talking about Cobra Kai, we're talking about human nature. Everyone knows that one person whose face just makes you want to laugh, or, jokingly, makes you want to throw a pillow at them. It's the little quirks, the little expressions that make someone so easy to tease. And when the Cobra Kai cast lets us in on who they think that person is, it feels like we're all in on the joke. So the stage is set. The dojo lights are dimmed, the cast is ready, and the laughter is about to begin. Who do they think has the most punchable face? The answers might shock you, they might make you laugh, and they might even make you look at your favorite character in a whole new way. But one thing is certain: by the time this is over, you'll never look at the Cobra Kai cast the same way again. Now that the stage is set, it's time to let the cast speak for themselves. And here's where things get interesting. When asked the question, who has the most punchable face, nobody froze up, nobody played it safe. Instead, they leaned in like it was the most important tournament match of their lives. You could almost feel the tension. except instead of flying kicks. What came next were flying jokes. The first brave soul to answer didn't hesitate. "Oh, that's easy, Zolo Mariduena," the actor behind Miguel. "Now, hold on." Miguel is the heart of Cobra Kai for many fans, the one you root for in every underdog fight. But according to his co-stars, that boyish grin is exactly what makes him punchable. Imagine this, a slow zoom-in on Miguel's perfectly timed smirk, with a cartoon boxing glove sound effect in the background. It's not that they dislike him, far from it. They love him. But sometimes that grin just screams, "Yeah, I know I'm the hero here." And in the playful world of cast banter, that's enough reason to want to throw a pretend punch. Another cast member jumped in quickly, almost as if they had been waiting for the chance. "Nah, it's gotta be Jacob Bertrandili, or as you all know him, Hawk." This answer sparked immediate laughter, because if you've watched the show, you know Hawk's journey is full of extreme facial expressions. 1 second, he's a shy nerd. The next, he's a tattooed, mohawked warrior. And through it all, his face is a canvas of cocky smirks, intense stares, and over-the-top eye rolls. It's perfect for the screen, but also perfect for being roasted by his friends. Imagine a montage of Hawk's most dramatic smirks, replayed in slow motion with a flashing caption, "Punch level, 100. But the funniest part? Jacob didn't argue. Instead, he leaned into the joke, admitting that even he sometimes looks back at old episodes and cringes at how smug his character seemed. That's the kind of honesty fans love, because if Hawk himself agrees his face was punchable at times, who are we to argue? And then, just when you thought the roast was over, another cast member brought up Tanner Buchanan, the actor who plays Robbie Keane. Their reason? That perfectly styled hair and brooding stare. "He's always got that look like he just stepped out of a shampoo commercial," one co-star teased. Cue the visual, Robbie walking in slow motion, hair bouncing like he's auditioning for a conditioner ad, while a dramatic boxing bell rings in the background. The group cracked up at this because, let's be real, when your hair looks that good, someone's going to call you out for it. What makes this moment shine isn't just the answers, it's the reactions. Every time a name is dropped, the camera catches someone covering their face with their hands, shaking with laughter, or pretending to dodge an imaginary punch. It's the kind of playful chaos that shows how much these actors genuinely enjoy each other's company. Instead of getting defensive, they encourage the jokes, adding little side comments like, "Yeah, I'd vote for him too." This section of the conversation turns into less of a roast and more of a comedy skit. You get this rhythm. Someone names a co-star, the rest pile on with reasons, and the accused either laughs it off or throws another name into the ring for revenge. It's like watching a game of hot potato, except instead of a ball, it's the title of Most Punchable Face being passed around. One of the best moments comes when someone boldly declares, "Honestly, it's me. I've seen my own face on camera, and yeah, I'd punch it too." The self-awareness lands perfectly, showing that these actors don't take themselves too seriously. That's what makes it so much fun. Even when the target is themselves, they don't shy away, they own it, laugh at it, and turn it into entertainment. Through these responses, the audience gets something more than just a silly game. They get a window into the cast's bond. These aren't co-workers forced to sit in the same room. They're friends who trust each other enough to take a joke and give one right back. And that trust is exactly why the banter works. When you hear them laugh, you're laughing with them. When they exaggerate someone's punchable smirk, you know it's all love. So far, the names have been flying: Miguel, Hawk, Robbie, but the debate is far from over. More cast members are ready to give their say, and with every new answer, the dojo gets louder, funnier, and even more unpredictable. The question isn't just who has the most punchable face, it's whether the group will ever agree on a single winner. And spoiler alert, things are about to get even wilder in the next round. Asterisk, the first round of answers was chaotic enough, but the energy in the room only grew stronger as more cast members joined in. By this point, it wasn't just about who had the most punchable face, it was about who could deliver the funniest roast, the sharpest comeback, and the best reason to back it all up. You could practically feel the dojo walls shaking with laughter, Like the start of an all-out comedy brawl, one of the boldest votes came in for Peyton List, who plays Tori Nichols. The reason? That signature death stare she uses during fights. One co-star couldn't resist, leaning forward with a grin. Have you ever been on the receiving end of that glare? Forget a punch, you feel knocked out just looking at her. Cue the reaction shot, Peyton dramatically recreating her cold, unblinking stare while everyone else pretends to duck behind their chairs. To spice it up for video, you'd play a cartoon lightning bolt sound effect as her eyes zap the screen. The room erupted, and even Peyton cracked up, joking that she wouldn't blame people for wanting to take a swing just to break the tension. Then the spotlight shifted. Another voice chimed in. No, it has to be William Zabka, Johnny Lawrence himself. The room gasped, half in mock horror, half in delight. After all, Johnny is the face of Cobra Kai's old-school, tough love philosophy. He's brash, blunt, and always has a sarcastic remark ready to go. The cast laughed, saying Johnny's constant look of confusion, like he's still trying to figure out how smartphones work, makes him both lovable and, in their words, weirdly punchable. For the video edit, imagine cutting to clips of Johnny squinting at a phone, overlaying a loading bar on his forehead, then throwing in a punch sound effect just as he finally figures it out. Comedy gold. But no roast session would be complete without someone going after Ralph Macchio, the legendary Daniel LaRusso. One actor teased that Ralph's face has been begging for a punch since the 80s, not because he deserves it, but because he still looks so young. It's unfair, they joked. How does he look the same as he did in the original Karate Kid? If I punched him, maybe he'd finally age like the rest of us. This jab had everyone clutching their sides with laughter, including Ralph, who threw his hands up like, what can I say? I've got good genes. For the faceless video, you'd cut between young LaRusso clips from the original Karate Kid and present-day shots, highlighting just how little he's changed. The beauty of this exchange is how quickly the momentum snowballed. Every new name set off a chain reaction. Once someone said Johnny, 3 others agreed and piled on with their own reasons. When Ralph's name was dropped, the group instantly started comparing his youthful glow to a skincare ad gone wrong, each moment layered on top of the last, turning the question into a running gag that wouldn't quit. What made it even funnier was the revenge factor. The more names were thrown around, the more the accused turned it back on someone else. Peyton pointed her finger at Tanner, saying, "Don't even start with me, Mr. Hair Model." Jacob called out Zolo again, mimicking Miguel's smug smile with exaggerated slow motion. Ralph teased William about Johnny's never-ending dad jokes, while William retaliated by calling Ralph's car salesman grin the most punchable of all. It was like watching a verbal sparring match. With punchlines instead of punches. By now, the audience could see a pattern forming. Everyone had a reason. Everyone had a target, and no one was safe. But the real kicker was that some names kept coming up more than others. Miguel's grin, Hawk's smirk, Johnny's confusion, Daniel's youth, Robbie's hair. Each one became a recurring punchline, gaining momentum with every new round of laughter. The dojo wasn't just buzzing, it was on fire with inside jokes and playful chaos. And then, as if to raise the stakes even higher, one cast member leaned back, smirked, and said, "Honestly, we could argue all day, but we all know who's going to win this." The room went quiet for a second, the kind of pause that makes you lean in closer, waiting for the bomb to drop. It wasn't just about naming names anymore, it was about crowning the champion of punchable faces. This moment is where the energy shifts. Up until now, it's been back and forth teasing, but suddenly, it feels like a countdown to the final round of a tournament. The playful votes, the exaggerated reasons, the self-deprecating humor, it all builds up to this one point. Who gets the crown? The group is almost ready to reveal their ultimate choice, but not before one last round of roasting chaos. So here we are, standing at the edge of the big reveal. The dojo is divided, the jokes are flying, and the laughter is uncontrollable. But there can only be one winner or loser, depending on how you look at it. Who will walk away with the title of most punchable face in Cobra Kai? The answer is about to shake up everything you thought you knew about the cast. Asterisk, the room is buzzing. Everyone has had their turn throwing playful jabs, but now it feels like the tournament is reaching its final round. The laughter dies down just enough for someone to take charge and say, "All right, we need to settle this once and for all. Who's really got the most punchable face in Cobra Kai?" The cast leans in, and for a moment it's almost as intense as the All-Valley Karate tournament itself. The votes come fast. One person raises their hand for Miguel, citing that smirk you can't unsee. Another points straight at Huck, laughing about his supervillain eyebrow raise. Peyton gets a few playful nominations for her death stare, while Robbie's perfect hair earns a couple of votes from the group, still salty about how good it looks on camera. Johnny and Daniel, the eternal rivals, both gather plenty of fingers pointed their way. Johnny for his clueless dad expressions, Daniel for never aging a single day. But as the names keep flying, a clear favorite starts to emerge. Or maybe favorite isn't the right word, maybe target is better. Slowly but surely the group rallies around one name, Jacob Bertrand Hawk. The reasons pile up fast, like blows in a sparring match. Someone mimics his cocky grin. Another points out his over-the-top stare-downs. One cast member even says, through tears of laughter, "Look, I love the guy, but sometimes Hawk's face just makes you want to swing. It's too good at being punchable." For the faceless video edit, this is the perfect moment to roll a montage of Hawk's greatest hits. His early days with braces, the dramatic mohawk transformation, and of course, every slow-motion smirk he's ever thrown at the camera. Overlay it with a flashing winner graphic and a cartoon boxing glove delivering a playful POW. To the screen, the best part? Jacob doesn't fight it. Instead, he bursts out laughing, throwing his arms up like a champion boxer. "I'll take it," he says, owning the title with pride. The cast cheers, claps, and pretends to bow down to the newly crowned most punchable face. It's not just funny, it's a perfect reminder that these actors are as good at making fun of themselves as they are at kicking butt on screen. The energy in the room is electric. What started as a silly question has turned into a full-blown celebration of friendship, humor, and playful roasting. Nobody is upset, nobody feels picked on. Instead, the whole cast is united in laughter. It's the kind of moment that shows how tight-knit this group really is. They may spend their days filming intense fights and rivalries, but behind the scenes, they're just a bunch of friends who love to tease each other. And here's the kicker. While Hawk might have won the title, every cast member secretly knows their own face has been on the chopping block. From Miguel's grin to Johnny's confusion, from Tori's stare to Daniel's eternal youth, no one escaped without taking a few playful punches. And that's what makes this reveal so satisfying. It's not about tearing anyone down. It's about building each other up through laughter. Now, let's zoom out for a second. For fans watching at home, this isn't just a fun game. It's a reminder of why Cobra Kai works so well. The show is built on rivalries, competition, and over-the-top drama, but at its heart, it's about relationships. And those relationships don't just exist on screen. They're alive and well behind the scenes, too. You can see it in the way the cast teases each other, supports each other, and never misses a chance to laugh together. So, as the dust settles and the most punchable face trophy, imaginary, of course, goes to Hawk, the video ends on the perfect note, a room full of laughter, playful banter, and a cast that clearly loves what they do. For the faceless video wrap-up, this is the moment to throw in upbeat music, fast-cut reaction shots, and maybe even a mock championship belt graphic sliding across the screen with Hawk's face plastered on it. End with a final freeze frame of the cast cracking up, locked in mid-laughter. And finally, the voiceover turns to the audience. So there you have it, Jacob Bertrand, aka Hawk, officially holds the crown for the most punchable face in Cobra Kai. But let's be real, the true winner is all of us, because we got to see the cast at their funniest. Now it's your turn. Who do you think has the most punchable face? Drop your answer in the comments below, and let's keep the dojo laughter going. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Cobra Kai fun. Until next time, no mercy. Just comedy?